Dancing me what to say, get you some. Yes, I have a microphone. Hey, everybody. All right. So I'm on. I was debating whether or not to even hop on here or in Twitter Space, but I'm still scared of Twitter Space because I know it's been acting really weird for a lot of people. So I felt as though I should come on here and talk to you guys. So, hi. It's been a hot minute. Gotta get hydrated first. So, all right. Let me just say this right now. In a few hours, the 13th annual Indie Series Awards will be taking place, and I just wanted to say congratulations to all the nominees and good luck to them. It is a magical night. There's a lot of people that are pulling for a certain show. I'm not going to say which one, but it happens to be with Sean Kanan. And James Lott Jr. was on there, and also Justin Torgerson, and also Sarah Brown, and also you guys did Studio City. And there's a lot of audio dramas that is also up for an award tonight. And as a previous recipient of the Indie herself, along with the cast of Forum in a Day, for Best Ensemble for Audio Fiction, I just want to say whoever wins tonight in this category, be honored, be privileged. Just it's I'm going to say this, it's an ego boost. Seriously. Because when and not only that, but you get to do this. Hi, I'm Candace Mackham, Indie Series Award winner. Such an ego boost. I'm just saying. So I have so much to say that I'm trying to figure out what this. Oh, okay, I'm just going to start with this. I'm seeing a lot of people on social media trying to get rid of Ron Carlivati, head writer over at Days. And I'm sorry, but this is so funny to me because everybody is little like up in arms about a certain storyline. I just say it's the Bo storyline. Everybody is upset because they feel as though this was false advertised. This was, it didn't live up to the hype of what people thought this was going to be. There's some other things on Days of Our Lives that fans do not feel is their Days of Our Lives. And everybody's like, off with his head. Let him go. Let him eat dirt. Let him go. And I'm going to say this. Be careful what you wish for. Here's the deal. I've known Ron's writing since One Life to Live, translated over to GH, translated over to Days of Our Lives to Beyond Salem 1 and 2, and today's on Peacock, obviously. Is he perfect? Nope. Is any writer perfect besides me? So I'm joking. I'm joking, by the way. This is what I gotta say. Ron Carlivati is one of a few writers who tries to blend real, REAL, and REEL into a show. And try to keep it within the history of what the show has done, as well as keep the identity of that show intact. And I think a lot of people are forgetting this, that Days of Our Lives has always been about the adventures and about the couples and about the moments. And I think because, and we all are guilty of it, including myself, we hype ourselves up for certain things. And we're like, okay, they need to do this. They need to do this. And when certain things don't go our way, we quickly are like, done. We're like ticked off. We're like, no, I can't accept this anymore. No. With the Bo and Hope storyline, let's take a look at what all is being presented to us right now. Everybody in Salem up until this point, except Steve, Kayla, Kate, knows that Bo is alive, right? Everybody else believes Bo is dead. Okay, he rest in peace. He felt, that stuff. Okay. You have it in Beyond Salem that his spirit was looking over Sierra, Ben, the baby, Hope, trying to figure out what was all going on with Harrison and all that stuff. So the love continues because even in heaven, his spirit was trying to protect his fancy face. At the end of Beyond Salem 2, spoiler alert, we see that because of his reward, because he did do a good deed, he in return gets to come back to Earth. However, we, the audience, knows that this isn't going to be an easy task because it's like, okay, wait a minute. So all this time, he's actually been in the chamber. So the heaven stuff and all that stuff probably wasn't, obviously with Marlena and them, it wasn't real. Okay. You have Hope moved on. She moved on, you guys, with Harris, right? Decent guy. Yeah, he was brainwashed. Darn it. But he seems to be a nice guy. Okay. Again, people don't know that Bo is alive. But you also got to remember, for this story to kind of be like, oh my gosh, this is like really good. Of course, they would have to do something to Bo. Just in the tradition of Roman, Robo John, Robo Steve, Robo Chad, Robo Ben, y'all get the point, right? Okay. Of course, they're going to make it a challenge for Hope and Bo to get back together. I see what fans are saying, but at the same time, I'm like, time out. You guys really wanted a nice package to be given to you instead of the whole structure of what the show is about. It's the testimony of soaps. It is the super couples. They will find their way back to each other. It's a long hurdle. It's a fight. It's everything. The adventures, the dramas, the tears, the emotions, and stuff like that. Okay. This Bo story got John and Marlena. This story got Steve and Kayla. Now, I'm confused on something because I'm on social media a lot and I keep hearing a lot of people saying, okay, they want John and Marlena to be backburned. Okay, from my eyesight, I've seen that. I've seen people who wanted Steve and Kayla to have a front burner storyline that also involves their kids. Okay, here's the deal. Stephanie and Trip. I mean, Trip is over there, he right here. He here. Stephanie's here. But we got Steve and Kayla in the storyline, right? And Megan also, keep in mind, Megan brainwashed Steve and John last year. Okay, so we got all of this going on. We got Bo being evil. Not totally evil, but he's like a baddie. But I like it. Okay. But where I'm confused at is everybody's giving up on the storyline. And I'm just like, but it's getting good. Because now that Steve saw, like, I'm pretty sure next week we're going to get probably some Hope and Bo stuff. Like, we have to, right? But I think I know why people gave up on this. Because there was a Soap Opera Digest interview where I think they said they're only on for 15 episodes. And I'm going to say this. I wish they would have never said that. Whoever the PR person is should have said, because by saying that, it took everybody by storm and was like, wait a minute, hold up. Only 15 episodes. What the mess? Like, okay, we need this A, B, C, D, E, F, G to happen. But I have to say this. This isn't Beyond Salem. This isn't a 5-day or 2-week where it's just Bo and Hope. This is Days of Our Lives, meaning there's other storylines that is being played out, as well as the storyline with Bo. And we may not get Bo every single day. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is like they're stretching it. But so far, I'm invested because I'm just like, what's going to happen next? Like, okay. But because of this, because everybody's not getting what they want Ron to go. And this has been building up for a while. So don't just think that just because of this storyline, this is the icing on the cake. No, this is actually the sprinkles, because people wanted him gone with the Abby death storyline, which I think we all can collectively say on Days of Our Lives was by far, let's put it to you this way. Billy Flynn, if you don't get an Emmy nomination, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know. Because emotionally, he did the work. He did do the work. I was Melissa Reeves was there. No offense to Katie. I love Katie McLean. I do. But I'd rather, because I wanted flashbacks. And so I wish Melissa was there. Matthew Ashford also did some good acting as well. But Billy Flynn really sold it, because can we all say it? It didn't pan out very well. But people wanted Ron's head off with that one. I understand that. I get it. I respect it. But here's what I always say. Just like with Josh Griffin over the Young and the Restless, Dan and Chris at GH, and Bold with Brad Bell. Okay, people want these writers to be fired and let go. Okay, who's going to come in and take over? Because sadly, reality check, not a lot of new bloods are coming in. I mean, yeah, you got Jamie, you got Darrell, you got, you got some certain people who did step up. But in all honesty, who are they going to get? Because it's always a constant hamster wheel of writers, executives, and all that they keep hiring. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the chart here. Okay. We all know, by the way, that there may be a strike coming up, the WGA strike, which is the Writers Guild of America writer strike. And a lot of people keep forgetting that sometimes the best storylines can come out of it, and sometimes the worst. And sometimes the writers who get to be on there during the strike becomes a permanent fixture. You may need to do your research to find out who's union and who's not union. Okay? All right. Because here's the thing, Days fans. Even though Days is on streaming and whatnot, it actually can be affected by this. It's a production. It's a program. So there you go. Ron is with the union. I thought he wasn't. I thought the last strike he wasn't, but I think he resigned. So who can they get over there? Could it be Gary Tomlin? Because Gary has been over at Days prior. He has. Also, Gary Tomlin was also responsible for One Life to Live when they won their first Emmy back in 2002. Okay? All right. So keep that in mind. There's also Dina Higley. Sorry, folks, but say what you want. She's on Ken's speed dial. All right, let's take a look at Young and the Restless. Well, guess what? Josh is not with the union. So guess what, Josh can stay. During the strike, he can still write for the show. He's not in union. That's why Amanda Beale is over there. Now, Amanda is, I believe she is with the union, and there's some other writers who are as well. So you take a look at who else could write for Young and the Restless, along with Josh, because Josh really can't do this by himself. Even though people want to say he can, he can't. He really cannot. Bold and the Beautiful, I mean, Kay Adler. But Kay might even go over to Young and the Restless. Who knows? Who knows? With General Hospital, I'm trying to think if Garen Wolf would come back over there. All I gotta say is when people say, hey, I want this writer to be, keep in mind the world of soap writers is super small. Because real talk, we soap fans, we know this. We know that there's a dark cloud over the soap genre from the outsiders. I mean, we recently just went through this, okay? And there's a lot of people who do not want to write for a soap opera. I would like to talk to them because clearly you need to write for a soap. And to me, writing for a soap opera actually helps you later on if you're writing for like a movie or something. Okay, you say Patrick Michelle. Well, Michelle is with the union. I think she's with the union, and Patrick obviously is retired. Can we get Patrick to write a book, by the way? If y'all can help me with that, because I really want Patrick to write a tell-all. That would be great. I mean, I want to say Patrick is not with the union anymore, but I'm not too sure. I know Tom Racina isn't with the union, but he's dealing with some things. So, you know. And when I say dealing, he's dealing with me. Really, seriously, yeah. No, I mean, and that's what I'm saying is that, you know, you got to really do your research to find out who's with the union and who's not with the union. And also, even if the strike doesn't happen, fingers crossed, y'all. When people still say to get rid of a writer, sometimes you really do got to think about who they could probably get. I remember when General Hospital fired Ron, and I'm be 100. We said there was only 2 soaps that he could go on that fits his mold. And the one thing that Ron does do good in is Family Unity. So that's 2 soaps he could have went on, Days and Young and the Restless. I'm going to be completely 100 with you. At the time, I don't think if they would have picked him as for Young and the Restless, he wouldn't have made it 3 years. But with Days, I feel as though that's in Ron's warehouse. Okay. But I also know that a lot of Days, because I always say this, if it's a writer from another soap, I always say to the new fans, right? Not somebody like me, because I know like Daphne. If you follow Daphne on Soap Party, she says that she doesn't have prior history of what he did on, you know, these previous shows. I do. I remember Ron from One Life to Live to General Hospital to Days. There are certain storylines that I'm just like, Ron, okay, you did this on da 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 da. It didn't work out. I see you trying to do it again on General Hospital, didn't work out. Now you're trying to do it on Days of Our Lives. Okay. Same thing with Josh Griffin. There were certain things that he tried to do over at Days and before when he was there, Young and the Restless, that he's trying to do now. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But if for the new viewers, they don't understand. They're like, oh my God, why? I know everybody is like with Brad Bell. Now, Brad Bell, just like Josh Griffin, and even Ken Corday on a given day, right? Okay, we should know this, right? Okay, they're both executives and as well as head writers. So somebody said that Brad needs to give up the head writer's position and let somebody else within become the head writer. I think everybody has agreed that Michelle Van Jane should be the head writer of Bold and Beautiful. Okay. Because she should have never been let go when she was at General Hospital as co-head writer. And I'm still sticking with that because I think that was really unfair. Thank you for letting me air that out. But always say, really seriously, all jokes aside, to be careful of when you say to get rid of somebody because you don't know who is going to come in and what they're going to do. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If they let go of Ron, hindsight, I'm just saying, if they let go of Ron and they bring back somebody and they completely destroy a lot of things, I don't want nobody to say, oh, I wish Ron Carlivati would have came back. No, because you should have, I feel as though sometimes, and I'm guilty of it too, but at least I come up with my receipts, that we judge the writers if they don't give us what we want. And when I say us, I mean for a certain couple and storyline, not for the whole show. Because what I find interesting is everybody is saying stuff about Ron, but nobody's giving him praise. And when I say praise, this man, say what you want, he's the reason why the show got renewed. Say what you want about Ron, he gave y'all Beyond Salem, a Salem Christmas, as well as Beyond Salem 2, which brought back Steve Burton, Kristen Alfonso, Peter Ruckel. Do you see what I'm saying? Give him his props that he got Days of Our Lives some Emmys for best show, best writing, and stuff like that. Give him the props that that Ron and company won the WGA awards. Okay. That they had a very successful year, that it is now on Peacock as one of the top 10 shows on their network from jump, by the way. Keep in mind, they went to them, Ken Corday and them, to talk about Days of Our Lives. So it's, and like I said, I know I can get, if you guys listen to me on Soul Party and stuff like that, I always come down on Ron. I do. And the reason is because I feel as though Ron is that person that he was the last graduate of the Agnes Nixon School of Writing, one of them. Also, Eddie Cole, always love your commentary because, like me and James, you know soaps. I don't know soaps. I live and breathe soaps. Yes, I do. That's what James said, right? But no, I know that I can get on him because I've seen him. I had seen him at his best. I've seen him at his woohoo. I've seen at his worst. I don't think this is his worst. I mean, again, I can compare, but this isn't, to me, the bold stuff. I'm looking at it as, okay, we're delving into the Victor Kiriakis stuff. We all know what they're going to probably do, or they're probably setting up to do. To me, I'm also seeing it as the ones who got us to this renewal, which is the John and Marlena, Steve and Kayla, the Bo and Hope, the Jack and Jennifers, that Tony and Anna, the couples that helped build the house for Ben and Sierra, for Sean and Belle, for, Chad and Abby, and all of them to live in. That's what they're doing. They're giving their flowers to these couples in the typical Days of Our Lives fashion. An adventure that groups them all together. I'm actually like, okay. And now, like, my whole thing is that who's to say that there's more episodes? Because, okay, I know tomorrow night, Michael Fairman is doing a live interview with Peter Ruckel at 8 o'clock on YouTube, on Michael Fairman's channel on YouTube. And I'm going to be watching because I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask a question, and I want to see if my question gets answered, because it will set the tone for what I say next. Because my whole thing is that I don't believe sometimes what these people say. Like, when they said 15 episodes, I'm like, okay, is it total count of 15? Like, their total count? Or at that time when they did the podcast, the Soul Party. Yeah, Kristen Alfonso and Peter Ruckel are more than welcome to come to Soul Party, by the way. If from the time they did the Soap Opera Digest podcast, was it then 15 episodes? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of those people that is just like, I have to kind of read, because they also, here's another thing too. I think they probably did work with Brandon Beamer because of that picture and what Stephen Nichols said about the green screen. I will say this though, if, and here's the thing, we want so much packed into it. I did say this. I do hope this time around that Brandon Bieber gets to work with Peter Reckell and them. I did. It's nothing against Victoria Collinson, because I know a lot of Sin fans are like, he needs to work with Victoria, and I agree. They do. They need to find a way to do that. But I'm not going to be mad if you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if one of the kids gets to have a scene, which would be Sean, because it's the whole police thing, you know. Okay, if it's with Victoria and with Brandon, I'm fine. If down the line, because I really truly believe they're going to go ahead and, you know, kill off Victor. I kept saying this when it was announced that John Anderson passed away. By the way, rest in peace. To get whoever to come back for like the funeral or whatnot, make it a real tribute to not only Victor Kiriakis, but also the rightful for John Anderson. Get freaking Victoria, because you know Victoria loved John Anderson. Get, you know, obviously Peter and Kristen if they get that, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think this is the end of the Bowen Hope saga. So, you know, but I don't think that because of that it's supposed to somebody, because I saw people saying you ruined it for us. Ron, you ruined Bowen Hope's reunion. How could you mess this up? And I'm like, we're getting to the thick of it now, because Steve and Kayla knows they're obviously going to make their way back to Salem, or somebody's going to say, I saw a guy that looks just like Bo. Like, it just is a soap opera. This is the adventure. This is like what I'm like, oh my God, they're going to be in the same place. Like they're missing each other. You know, you got Harrison. Like, how is that going to be, you know? And I'm going to be honest with you. The Harrison and Hope thing isn't bothering me, because I was expecting because keep in mind, this was the original story that they wanted Kristen Alfonso to do. Remember, right before she left. And I'm going to say this, Steve Burton and Kristen Alfonso have chemistry. They really do. This, if they played it a certain, now I will say this, if they would have played it a certain type of way, this could have been like a Lily Damian Holden type of thing. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to say it like that. So, but yeah, my whole thing is that, like with Josh Griffin, okay, I can honestly say this. It got better. It got better the 2 weeks that I said that it was going to get good. I think what can I say about Josh? Both Josh and Ron suffers from this. And I'm not saying this to be mean, of post-soap trauma. Because Josh, who has been on As World Turns, let me see, you know, he's been on a lot of the soaps. Some canceled, some still on the air. His longest soap, though, that he's been a part of has been in Young and the Restless, okay? And I understand, like, at Days of Our Lives, when he was writing over there, him and Dina, and then when Dina left, it was dark. When I say super dark, it was dark. That Sierra was raped. Y'all remember that? That was the year, okay? And there was some other things that happened under that tenure. And the thing is that he got let go, and then he came back to Young and the Restless. You see about that hamster wheel I was talking about? Okay. Because of, and this is just my opinion, because of a bruised ego, because I'm also including Hollywood Heights, which was on Nickelodeon. Y'all might remember that show. He had a bruised ego. So sometimes when you're a writer, and this is just my opinion here again, in life, whenever we are, you know, something is wrong, we try to regroup, we try to rebuild, we try to refocus, stuff like that. And to me, I think that's what happened with Josh. Josh came back to a show that was very familiar to him, and he wanted to do things his way instead of kind of leaving everything the way that it happened. Because it's one of those, hey, boo, it's one of those things where, sadly, they don't remember the Justin Hartley as Adam years. You see what I'm saying? They don't remember some of the Maria Bell stuff. They try to erase some of the Sally stuff. and go back to what Josh did. Okay. And that's frustrating for viewers who've been watching so many years that it's like, wait a minute, hold up. Then we end this Adam and Billy stuff. Like, really? Then we kind of squash the Victoria Adams stuff just a little bit. Like, then we do that? Like, no, we didn't do that. Okay. We didn't. No, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about Bruno. Okay. Josh wanted to do things his way because he's actually said it in some interviews. Like, the first thing that everybody was flipping out about, including me, was, why are we going to revisit Devon and this money situation? There was no need to do that, right? Okay. Then there is the quote unquote storylines that took place off screen that came on screen. Adam and Chance and Snake Eyes and all that, right? Okay. Then you have the Amanda situation. Okay, I love Michelle Morgan. I do. But let it be known that they, in my opinion, was not going to make Amanda Hillary's twin. The reason they made that decision was the character of Amanda. They got stuck. They got stuck with Amanda because Amanda did have, first and foremost, let me give a shout out. Michelle Morgan has chemistry with everybody, okay? And the thing is, how do you make this character, who the actress played another popular character, but how do you translate her to be, transcend her into other orbits and not just the typical orbit that we all kind of knew she was going to go into? Jason Thompson, her chemistry. I don't know. Her and Mark Grossman have any scenes, because I kept thinking Amanda and Adam should have been something too. But she actually was on her own a really good character. The problem came when you put her on the island. Because, yeah, when you had her work with Devon, I mean, that could have been messy. That could have been so messy. They could have went two ways with that. They could have had her pull what they did with Mariah. Remember when Mariah came on, she was trying to mess with Sharon and thinking she was Cassie. Remember that? And remember, they could have done that with Amanda, made Devon think he was losing his ever-loving mind, because who did Amanda get hired by? Colin. And and could have made him think that he was losing his mind by seeing Hillary. In other words, like, because we got to remember, Amanda's profile was hidden. Her ex-husband put out a restraining order on her. We never got to the bottom of that, by the way. We never got to the bottom of that because they got stuck. They really got stuck. So when they said that she was going to be Hillary's twin, it was like, oh boy. Okay, here we go. The rewrites. They did a good job, but then it was the whole father thing. Y'all could have just said it was Tyrone Jackson, okay, and called it a day. But no, you had to do all of this. Instead of doing what GH did, you went and chose a guy that nobody cared about. We didn't know this guy. Like, you could have really had Phil Morris back on Young and the Restless as Hillary and Amanda's father. Josh, you let us down so bad on that one. But, and then there's, other storylines, that's just like, whoo. But what happened to Hillary's family? They all just disappeared. They did, because everybody had outside projects. And Michelle made the decision to go on recurring because there was a lot going on, with her. I don't think it was because, okay, okay. And here's another thing I think we sometimes forget too. This genre, which I love and I will probably die on for talking about it so much and defending it. The sad reality is that there's other platforms where their talent is going to be shown. This is not like 1990s, 80s, early 2000s where you just stayed on the show. Like, you stay on the show for 40 plus years. Bada bing, bada boom. You do a movie of the week, call it a day. But you take a look at how everything has changed. In other words, we have a lot of younger people, you know, because remember back in the day, we used to have a teen scene. We had a teen scene on every other freaking soap, okay? But now we have Netflix and we have Amazon and we have, what's that? Max. By the way, if anybody had any stock in HBO Max, I feel your pain. I feel your pain today. But you have like DC, you have Marvel, you have the CW. Is it still called the CW? Yeah, it's the CW. You have all these other options that these young folks are going to now, right? Because there are no Joshua Morrow, there are no Jonathan Jackson. And remember, Jonathan Jackson, I'm going to use Jonathan because, yeah, Jonathan was 11 years old when he was on General Hospital. Yeah, he did like little things here and there. Richie Rich. Y'all remember that? Okay. Then he did like Boy Meets World. Y'all remember that episode too. Mm-hmm. Then he did the ABC Movie of the Week with homegirl from Popular, Carly Pope, when he was a drug dealer. They were druggies. Mm-hmm. And then his big thing was Deep End of the Ocean, right? But it took him years. Like he left General Hospital when he was 17 years old. Okay. And he did other shows and he did other things. You take a look at, you know, who else can we say was, you know, hey, Jacarius, this girl named Sarah Michelle Gellar. I don't know what happened to her, but I remember she was on a show called Swans Crossing. And then she played Kendall. And then a year later, you know, she won an Emmy. And then next thing you know, blew up. But what I'm saying is that there's not a lot of young, like, you know, I'm going to do it. Victoria Cauliflower. I know so many people was upset. And I'm going to use Hunter King as well. Because the thing is that these two young women want to broaden their careers. And they're both Emmy Award winners. That's an extra bonus right there, right? Okay. And I think for us soap fans, we do get upset when people that we connected to. And why did Hunter King leave? She had a pilot. So she did have a pilot. Okay, so let me backtrack. So the first time she left and everything before COVID, she actually had a project that was greenlit for CBS. I think it was called like, oh yeah, Buffy the Grudge, Cruel Intentions. I'll get in Cruel Intentions in a minute, okay? Because I got something to say about that. But Hunter, you know, was doing other shows, you know, Life in Pieces and everything. Then she got greenlit. It was like a Western type of show. And then just like with Victoria, because Victoria also had something, COVID happened. So she, you know, returned to the show to Young and the Restless until they were going to do, you know, continue with the production. And sadly, the production didn't happen because of COVID, because COVID ruined everything. So that's the thing. But again, you know, take a look at Amber Tamblyn. Amber Tamblyn had left General Hospital, and next thing you know, homegirl was on Joan of Arcadia, which was one of my favorite shows. And by the way, CBS, I am mad at you still that you canceled it. Thank you. Okay, I just wanted to get that out there. But the thing is that we, you know, there's gone are the days where people are on these shows for 20, 30, 40. Heck, Suzanne Rogers is what, 50, 55 years? And with the younger folks, again, there's such a platform out there. And I think a lot of people are looking at GH right now because, yeah, you do have like William Lipton, you know, who is a talented musician and everything, as well as the actor. You got Eden McCoy, you got Tabiana, you got Nicholas. And I'm going to tell you something. All of those kids that I just mentioned, including the younger ones who plays Leo and all of them, they're so talented. I would not be mad. Okay, let me just say this. I will be mad, but you see what I'm saying? Sometimes, yeah, you know what I mean? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Look at Sasha Cali. We didn't even know this girl was looking out for another job. And it wasn't, and I mean, yeah, half of it is because probably, you know, the writing, but she was actually involved in the storyline. And next thing you know, she's Supergirl. By the way, go see The Flash when it comes out. Thank you. What do you think of the Phyllis being dead storyline? I think it's nuts. I think it's Phyllis. Here's the thing. Okay. Because I'm a dead advocate on this. This Phyllis that we're seeing, first and foremost, Michelle Stafford is doing her thing with this. But this Phyllis that I'm seeing is so 90s Phyllis. This is the Phyllis that is like, you know what? I'm going to prove y'all all wrong when I go ahead and, da. But I have a twist to all of this that involves my theory about Diane, because I still think Diane is a part of something. My whole thing was this, and I'll say it on here, and if it happens on Young and Restless, y'all remember on this day, I said this. I said that, okay, Phyllis is going to have regrets, obviously, that, Jeremy is going to double cross her. Jeremy is going to double cross Phyllis in the worst way, because when it comes out that Phyllis is alive and she faked it all, she's going to try to say that Jeremy was a part of her plan, right? Check this out. Jeremy's going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. This was all you, because you wanted to get back at Diane. Phyllis is going to be like, no, no, you said you were going to help me. Okay. Everybody's going to believe Jeremy in a sense because, well, the evidence shows Phyllis has been trying to get Diane. All right. Then Phyllis is going to do something, and then Jeremy is going to be like, keep your voice down because somebody else is in the room. That's when we find out Diane is a part of whatever plan it is that, whatnot. Because they're trying to get access to Jabot money, to Abbott money. Okay. Yes, Tucker is involved in all this, and Phyllis does find out. But here's how messed up this is. Because Phyllis has cried wolf so many times, nobody's going to believe her. Diane's going to be like, la-di-da-di-da, dee-dee-dee-dee. They're all going to make people think Phyllis has lost her ever-loving mind. Keep in mind, too, Phyllis's kids aren't going to back her up because Phyllis has put everybody through this emotional turmoil, right? Okay, here's where it gets good at. I don't know how long Susan Walters is staying on Young and the Restless, but if it's only for a year or whatnot, they're going to have to start wrapping it up. And this is why I say about the plan, because I see everybody saying there's no plan, everything. I'm one of those fans who I'm just like this. Sometimes not everything has to come, like, you don't have to tell me within 3 weeks. You don't sometimes have to let me on or drop some crumbs. I mean, there are certain storylines that you do need to do that with, but I like the surprise element. I miss the days where a show will be like, you thought this was going to happen. Now we ain't going to play that beat. Until today on a special Young and the Restless. Like, wait a minute. Hey, Lakina. Like, wait a minute. We said that 6 months ago. Oh my God. They finally, oh my God. Oh, call your friends up. They were wrong. People told me not to say it, but yeah. So I can see Diane, something. And then with that, I can see Diane getting whatever she is, or then Jeremy and Tucker double cross her, and she's in a no-win situation. Oh yeah, and that's the thing, is that in a couple of weeks, because in a couple of weeks we're going to start seeing the credits, and it's going to say Josh, it's going to say Janice, it's going to say Amanda, stuff like that. And if the strike happens, keep in mind, Josh is non-union. He still can write for Young and Restless. He's going to be the only writer to really keep his job if they go on strike. But yeah, I'm still going to say that Jeremy's going to double cross Phyllis. Phyllis is going to be like, what the heck? Jeremy and Diane and everybody's going to make people like Phyllis won't have any credibility. It will be the first time she actually was right, but she was wrong in doing all of this. It's going to be messy. Oh my God. Come and see this too. See, I think Summer, okay. So here's what happens with Summer and Kyle. For those who want to know why, I'm just going to tell you my whole story. I swear, if Young and Restless do any of this, y'all remember, I want my Venmo. So while all of that is happening, right? Summer and Kyle are gonna bust up. And I like Summer and Kyle, but the time is now because Summer is mad at Diane for potentially, like, okay, y'all saw today's episode, so y'all know what happened with Diane. Okay, for doing something to Phyllis, right? Okay, so you're gonna have tension between Kyle and Summer because Kyle's gonna be like, my mother wouldn't do all this, and Summer is like, I thought we weren't gonna get involved in all this, and Kyle is like, but you said that my mom did this, da 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 da, and Summer is like, what are you trying to say, that I'm a liar? Da 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 da. They're gonna bust up now. I told this to Daphne, okay? Here's how you can bring back a storyline that she really wants to come back into forefront about Summer and Billy. All right, Summer starts stringing. She at the athletic club, right? All right. Billy comes over and says, you know, what's wrong? Summer's like, Billy is like, I heard what happened between you and Kyle and everything else like that. Summer's like, I just want to go upstairs and rest. Billy takes her upstairs, right? Now, Summer is a little drunk or a little tipsy. And she was like, how come I always mess things up by getting involved? Da, 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 da. Anyway, Summer tries to kiss him. Summer tries to kiss him, and Billy puts her to bed and leaves out. Audra, Miss Nosy Pelosi herself, she sees this, right? And she's like, that's interesting. She goes to Kyle. You see where I'm going at with this, right? Okay. So I'm just saying, I can see all of this plays out. This is going to be some mess, but I doubt Josh is going to do it. But if he does, at least y'all can give me some credit for that. You see, okay. Couldn't this situation occur? Let me see. Okay, I think Diane has another child out there. God, I hope not. I mean, you never know. Could the situation occur where the actors decide not to come to work in solitude with the writers? They would have to get with Screen Actors Guild. And I don't think Screen Actors Guild is going to allow that because of recent contracts. They renew their contracts. So if they don't come to work, that's a lawsuit. That's some lawsuits right there. Just saying. I mean, I'm pretty sure the actors will be in solitude, but at the same time, you know, it's time for Scott. Yeah, I agree. Kyle can't have a real opinion about his mother. He hasn't seen. And see, but here's the thing, though. Diane has worked really hard to kind of prove that she's a changed person. And that's why I keep saying, like, the people that's going to get hurt if Diane is working with Jeremy or Tucker or something is Jack and Kyle. Mostly Kyle because of that reason. He has not seen his mother. His mother faked the death, okay? And not once come to see him or anything else like that. It wasn't, and here's the thing, if Kyle did not have Harrison, Kyle probably would not even be talking to Diane. Jack would probably twist his arm and say, hey, look, your mother is really trying to, like, you know, make it up to you. But how do you make it up to a child that you abandoned for 20 something years? And that's what Phyllis is going to have to deal with, because the thing is that this is hurting both kids, Daniel and Summer. It's not like there's any kids involved, but it's literally like, and keep in mind with Daniel, this is strike 2. Because remember, Danny Romalotti is not Daniel's father. I've been watching soaps for over 35 years, and I'm wondering if longevity will pass. I believe so. Because things are changing. Things are changing left and right for this genre. And that's why I say, like, with the writers, you know, with, like, going back to what I was saying about Ron Carlivati, keep in mind, I'm just going to say it. Days of Our Lives wasn't supposed to be here. For those who know the history, Days wasn't supposed to be here. Days was not even supposed to be the Final Four. Y'all know that, right? I just want everybody to understand this. Days of Our Lives has been on the chopping block since the 90s on up. Okay? General Hospital was supposed to be canceled back in the 80s. It wasn't supposed to make it this long. Was Young and the Restless? There was times where Young and the Restless wasn't going to probably make it. Bold and the Beautiful, well, here's the thing. If it wasn't on network, they would still be worldwide because their highest market is national, international. We all know this. But I do think because of the direction that Days took, which is streaming, and because they are trying to, not reinvent the wheel, but trying to come into the new technology. I think the soaps are going to, here's the thing. Are you including digital and audio soaps? Because I'm just saying, the soap genre has grown a lot in the last couple of years. So, that's it. I remember Days was on the chopping block. They were supposed to be gone when. Okay, so real quick, Days of Our Lives was supposed to be gone when Guiding Light got canceled. Because you remember, Days of Our Lives and Guiding Light was always back and forth. If you remember the soap opera digest ratings, right? Okay. 1 week, it would be 1.6 for Days, 1.7 for Guiding Light. 1.7 for Days, 1.4 for stuff like that. When it was in February, right? Guiding Light, because of Grant Alexander, David Andrew McDonald, and because of some other things, they actually hit a 1.8. That was a high. Days was a 1.6. And everybody was like, oh, shoot. Days is going to be gone. They was already making plans. But then, of course, we got that cruel joke on April 1st that Guiding Light was canceled. Days was saved. And it was Brian. Yes. And then, if you remember, the following year at the freaking upfronts, Lakina knows I'm going to tell the story. When you had Jeff Zucker, who was then president of NBC, we don't think Days of Our Lives is going to make it past 2010 due to the changing of everything else like that. I'm like, what the heck? Like, why would you even say that? Knowing we just got rid of, Guiding Light, and then a couple of months before the upfronts, As the World Turns was announced. By the way, the reason that As the World Turns was dropped, because some people would like to say ratings. No, they already had it planned where As the World Turns was going to be gone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me see. What do you think of Young and the Restless divorcing Paul and Craig is still waiting for him to do the interview he was talking about? Joy, we all are. And here's what I have to say about this. What was they supposed to do? It's been 5 years. Okay. 2018 was the last year we really saw Paul. It's been because he came back for Eric Braden's thing, right? Yeah. But hindsight, what was they supposed to do? Okay, let me get my pen here because I feel as though I have to be like the news anchor here. They did what they could have done because they had the character off screen, still functioning. And like I said, the fans would have been up in uproar for the following things. If they would have killed off the character, people would have been upset about, like, how could y'all not do that? Why would y'all do that? Y'all could have recast the role. Okay, y'all know done good well that if they did a recast for Paul Williams, everybody and their mama would have been upset too. So you can't kill the character and you can't recast the character. And to be honest, this character has been around for 40 plus years. It would be really bad to do it. Okay? Especially for the following thing. The character wouldn't be on every single day. The character would probably be on when needed. Which means if there's a police investigation or something, Paul Williams. If there's a party, Paul Williams. But for people to think that he was going to be on every single day, because you got to keep in mind, okay, how can I say this? The character of Paul Williams has been around since the 70s, longer than Nikki Newman, or aka Nikki Reed. Sadly, though, with a lot of soaps, your A characters goes into the B section. A lot of your B sections goes into the C sections. And sadly, for the C sections, there's sometimes the character you're going to see once in a blue moon. Okay? They did the best that they could for all this time. And the sad thing is that I feel for the Paul and Cricket fans, because that was one of the OGs. That was Lee Phillip Bell's favorite couple. And because of certain things, they made the decision. And I'm going to say, as a writer, that's the hardest thing you can do, because you don't know how to go about it. Because again, and I know a lot of people was going to say, well, they could have done like they did with Krista Allen and Hunter Tylo. Here's the thing, though. As a writer, you can't hold the character hostage. Like an actor can't hold a character hostage. As a writer, you have to make a decision that's going to be good for the storyline. And in this situation, Paul and Cricket being divorced, her reevaluating her life as a DA, the ski trip and all that, the family first, and yes, the return of Danny, that all played out. And can they bring Paul Williams back down the line? Question mark. You see what I'm saying? Like, question mark. Because it also depends on some other things outside of the storyline. And I think, you guys said it too. It's like, with Doug Davison, I mean, he said a lot of stuff on social media that he deleted, took back. He was invited to the 50th and, the 50th gala that they had a couple of weeks ago. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know all what happened, but I do know this, is that if Sony and CBS reached out to me and said, hey, we want to invite you to come be a part of, because you're such a big part of the history, again, I would have put myself aside and gone for you guys, the fans, because I know that the fans would love to have seen pictures of Laura Lee Bell and Doug Davison being there with the cast and stuff like that. But at the same time, too, it also could have been an olive branch from Sony and CBS to try to get him back onto the show. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you got to look, it's Hollywood. Sometimes you gotta chalk it up a little bit. You gotta, put your ego down a little bit, check yourself, and because you don't know what this could be. This could be an opportunity for you to come back. And for those who keep saying, okay, well, Victoria Raoul went and da-da-da-da. Here's the thing. I was shocked when I saw Victoria going, because I know that the party was being thrown by CBS and Sony, right? And we know for years that Victoria has had, her things about Sony and everything. Les Lunas, bye, Les Lunas, go bye, and everything like that. But it took her to be a big person, as well as Sony and CBS, to have her come to that gala. But what I did not like was, and I'll be honest, I did not like how he said, like, yeah, I was invited, but everything that, okay, but you've been saying this for the last couple of years, Doug. So what is it? And like you just said, he said it on Twitter. Maybe I should look for somebody to do an interview with. Well, my person that I want him to do an interview with is not Soap Opera Digest. I'm sorry. It's not Michael Fairman. I love Michael Fairman too, by the way. I want Michael Logan to do the interview. I want Michael Logan to do the interview because Michael Logan will cut no corners. He will go straight. He will hit those questions hard. So I mean, like I said, with Paul and Cricket, felt bad, but writers wise, they had to do what they had to do. So, you know. Jesus. Let me see. Jacaria says, let me see. I wonder why they canceled As Well Turns after GL because of Procter & Gamble. I'm sorry, Telemedia. And because Les Muniz already had plans for that 2:00 slot. I was never aware that ending one day. I said, what happened to As Well Turns? They got canceled. Like I said, could they have gotten another actor to play Paul? People would have been up in arms about it. That recast will not even survive day one. Let me see. Oh my God, what happened to SoapNet? I wonder why they didn't move it to a streaming act. Disney Junior happened to SoapNet. That's what happened. Darn kids, and I love the kids, but they didn't need another channel. Just saying. I miss SoapNet, by the way, in case y'all didn't notice that. For Vicky, I think a bridge was built when she was invited for Christoph St. John. I mean, yeah. And here's the thing. When CBS Sony decided to do it, I kept saying when Christoph, when they were talking about it, I said, I hope they reached out to her. Now, if she would say no, I can't blame her for that, but I would understand. But for the love of Christoph, she did that. She's gone back to work for Viacom, which is a CBS company. BET is a CBS, Paramount and all that. The fact that they're mending fences. That's what they're doing. They're mending fences. Because what happened to Victoria should not have happened. The fact that she posted that picture of Michelle Stafford, her and Sharon Case, aka the Desperate Housewives of the GC, relief. And I still hold out hope that one day this year for Christmas that we see Drusilla back in the GC. That's my words. Yeah, I miss SoapNet too. I miss a new way to watch soaps. Come on now. Until they got too modern with it. By the way, I am wearing my daytime Emmy hats. I'm preparing. It's Emmy season. Can you feel it? Can you feel the excitement? I know I can. Do you think Victoria would mend fences with some of the cast members that didn't like her? I always say this. Everybody grows up. I think this was one of those lessons learned moments. But sometimes you can't mend fences with everybody. But you also got to remember that this is a job. And sometimes you got to fake it. And not everybody's going to like everybody. Because look, half of these shows, people don't like anybody on these shows anyway. But I think it would take a lot of soul searching. It would. So, yeah. But hopefully one day, we'll see that happen. We'll see Victoria back on Young and the Restless. So what's your favorite Lucinda moment? Oh my God. Oh, real quick, Elizabeth Hubbard. I was not prepared for that news. Oh, man, there's so many Lucinda moments. I mean, that's a hard one. Like, I mean, I know everybody's kept saying, when her and Iva, Lisa Brown and her had magic, her and John Dixon in a hot tub and all that stuff. But yeah, Lucinda Walsh, Elizabeth Hubbard, she passed away over the weekend. It was announced by her son. You know what my favorite Lucinda moment is? Even though she was hardcore businesswoman, she was a boss. My favorite moments is all the times with her children, with Sierra and Lucy. I mean, not Lucy, with Lily. and how she also kind of like welcomed Rose. I love those kind of moments. You know, oh yeah, Simone. I was watching that the other day. I'm gonna tell you something. See, this is what irks the crap out of me. I need for Procter and Gamble to release the darn shows. I need a Procter and Gamble soap channel like they did back in the day. I need something where I can see As Well Turns Gone Light in all my shows, because it's things like this. It's because, like I said, I know Retro TV is going to do the Doctor's tribute to her, to Elizabeth Hubbard. I know that, and I would really like, you know what? Hey, CBS, talk. Can y'all re-air when you guys celebrated CBS's anniversary and you had As Well Turns and Gone Light included? Because I think that was one of Elizabeth Hubbard's like final, what I mean. And I hope they do something at the Emmys now for her, because she was the first winner. So, but yeah, when she cussed him out. And can you believe it's been 28 years since we've been introduced to Mae West? Yeah, it was 28 years ago that she was Carly when she came on As Well Turns as this Marilyn Monroe. I was hooked with her. I was like, oh, who is this girl? Oh, yes. Give it to me. Yes. Oh, man. I watched it too and was discussing. Oh, yeah. Well, man, I see what they were trying to do. I really do. I see what they were trying to do with Carly Holden. I was like, where's Ava? You mean Ivy? Yeah, game was hard. Carly was that girl. She was that girl that you could not. Because here's the thing I loved about Carly, and Mae West played it so well that it's just, she's one of those characters. Like, if I had to pick the top 20, she would be definitely like number 7 on this list. Carly was that girl who she did not apologize for some of the things that she did. She had all the right intentions of doing whatever she was going to do. And she was one of those people that kept it 100 with you. And if you didn't like how she kept it 100 with you, bye. See ya. She was a fighter. She was a lover. She was a fighter. And everything. Oh my gosh. Yes. Ow! Yes, Carly. And don't get me started about Carjack. Oh my God. Is Mae West still married to? Yep. Scott and her are still married. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm sorry. Y'all know that me and Neville, Buzzworthy Neville, we both like the same As Well Turns theme song. This portion of As Well Turns has been brought to you by water. Natural water. But yeah, Carly Tenney was that girl. She was that girl. But Elizabeth Hubbard. And I'm so glad her and Martha got to work together again on Anacostia, the series. Look at I think it's on Amazon. I think it's on YouTube. They both reunited on Amazon on Anacostia, the series by Anthony Anderson. Which was great because it was let's just put it to this way. It was no Lucinda and Lily. Just saying. I miss the actor Hunt Block who played Craig. He's the best Craig. See, now, okay. I like Hunt Block, but Scott will always be my Craig. That was the Craig that I grew up with. Hunt Block to me, oh my gosh. Like Hunt as freaking Ross's brother on Gone Light. Talk about a character that I couldn't really stand that I wanted to actually hit with a car. I wanted to pull a Phyllis. Just saying. What he did to Blake, but Blake was no cheer. She was no saint either when that whole, oh God. Don't get me started talking about that storyline. Oh yeah, John. Okay, let me give us honorable mentions to John Lindstrom, because here's the thing. John Lindstrom had to play a role that was already established, that he had to try to make into his own. And I'm going to say this, half the reason of this General Hospital stuff with Mara and John came from As the World Turns. Can we get an amen in the Church of Soaps? Because seriously, all jokes aside, whenever I'm watching General Hospital and I see the Mara and John Lindstrom scenes, I'm like, you're welcome, As the World Turns. You're welcome, General Hospital, because of As the World Turns. Thank you. Just saying. Put it out there. Same thing with Mara West and Roger Howarth. I'm like, As the World Turns says, thank you. You see, I wish they didn't cancel As Well Turns. I mean, I think all of us do. You know. See, I remember Hunt Block on Knots Landing. Yep. John Lindstrom played that role. I still wonder why they made Carly an alcoholic. Because there was nothing else Carly could do. Left to Carly could do. You know what I'm saying? Like every soap character got to go through with the alcoholism or the drug use. And amen, because Carly and Craig had heat. They sure enough did. I ain't gonna lie. When he kissed her, pulled her up and kissed her, I was like, oh. I was like, I feel some passion. But I was like, my heart still was carjacked. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm one of those people that back in the day, like if you tempt me with another couple, another pairing after I like a pairing, it was good. That was good. It was good. Every time Mara gets pregnant, they made Carly do. I will say, okay, Jacarius, now here's the thing. I'm going to say something. To this day, I stand on this hill. I will go down swinging somebody. As the World Turns and their writers did something that no other soap could do. And that was when you have three of your lead actresses all pregnant at the same time. How do you write them all off? Say what you want about it, storyline and all that, but it was brilliant. It was brilliant. 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 I was okay with it. I was okay with them writing them all out the way that they did. Yeah, it was some little supernatural stuff, but it's fine. Look, we survived the clones. We survived we survived the God. Oh Lord, no, not that story. Sorry, I cannot bring that up on Another World at 200. By the way, hold up. Speaking of Another World, and I had to think about what today's date is. Today was the day that Jesus. Today was the announcement that NBC made that shook the everybody. Another World was canceled today. NBC was like, yeah, we canceling Another World right before their 35th anniversary. Like it was literally like a couple weeks, and then they canceled it. And then and when I say they had the shortest wrap up time, they had the shortest wrap up time. Seriously, the shortest wrap up time. Okay. Let me see. Carly and Jack was the updated Lillian Holden. I'm gonna say something really bad. Okay. I like Lillian Holden, but y'all know that my heart belonged to Lily and Damien as well. Carly and Jack could not stand Lillian Holden could not stand hold a candle to Carly and Jack. Okay, thank you. And I like the Lillian and Holden. I'm like I said, I'm just saying. Okay, the whole triangle had heat. Carly, Craig, and Rosanna on CBS As the World Turns weekdays. Okay, Janet was the worst. Okay. I feel as though Janet and Jack, all we needed was Chrissy. That pairing was not good. That wasn't. The character of Janet, though, had potential. Did I want her to end up with Dusty? Heck no. I don't know who I wanted Janet to end it up with, but it was not with Dusty. I know that much. Looking back, why they put Carly with Simon? I can't stand Katie at all at that time. I liked Katie for a minute. Except when she was, oh God, we came with Jack. Again with Carly, here's the thing. Mara West had chemistry with everybody. And that's not even a lie. But I think to kind of stir the trouble with Katie and Simon, they had to do that. To make this the character of Simon and Katie work their couple, they had to put somebody else into the mix, which was Carly. So, I didn't mind. I bought both of those books, the Oakdales. Yeah, where's my? Yeah, it's over there somewhere. You see, I grew up watching NBC Stories with my aunt, so I'm more on that show. But after Simone, you had to bring that up. All right, this is the part of the show where Candace has to diss this. Another World. Great show. Great show. Some will say it was better than Days of Our Lives. The marketing for Another World was better than they did with Days of Our Lives. Another World was actually the flagship of NBC for a while. Until they did that 200-year-old storyline. I was no good. I was like, what the heck is this? What is this with this gorilla with the ape that has a thing for Cass? Okay. I was like, oh, so we're just making a mockery of Another World right now. Okay, gotcha. When they had Victoria Wyndham, who needs to be back on television in some kind of capacity or something, when they had Rachel and her twin, and then I know soaps do this, but when Rachel became pregnant with Carl's twins, I was done too. Done. Couldn't believe it. I was like, what is this? But at the end, it was a good show. Miss you, Another World. Oh my god. Let me see something. Katie was annoying. Why you find her in one video? Vienna, I miss her. Thoughts about Sunset Beach? Okay, here's the thing. All right. Josh Griffin, Bob Guza, Charles Pratt did one solid for me, and that was Sunset Beach. When I tell you I lived Sunset Beach, I lived and loved Sunset Beach. The problem, though, I'm going to say this. I see what Aaron Spelling was doing, because Aaron Spelling was really, going into the daytime genre. I totally get it. The man who gave us Dynasty, Charlie's Angels, Vegas, Love Boat, 90210, Melrose Place, all that shows. But here's the thing. Sunset Beach, as great of a show it was not made to be a daytime soap. It just wasn't. I give credit to Aaron Spelling, but that should have been a nighttime show. And actually, it should be rebooted, just saying, for CW or Amazon or something like that. Oh my God, you remember when it came out that Henry was such when they did that, I was like, that almost was as bad as when they had Sebastian being Roger Thorpe's son. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then Rachel and Carl just took me out. I was not mad when Iris shot Carl. How could she marry this man? The Rachel and Carl thing was sort of, it was interesting. Hindsight, looking back at it, considering that Rachel was no saint, stuff like that. But it did take me a while to get to Rachel and Carl too. It was like, okay, it was okay. Speaking of Another World, why did I discover earlier that the actress who played Frankie Frame, Allison Bartlett, blocked me into it, but I never followed her? Interesting. I love Sunset Beach. I follow Leslie Ann Down to Bold because I love her so much. Leslie Ann Down is also another person that needs to come back to daytime in some kind of capacity, or her coming back to Bold and the Beautiful. I'm ready for it. To me, Leslie Ann Down is like one of those, like, she's soap. She is soap. She is just, oh my God. She is just the embodiment of, like, she's sassy. And I need sassiness on a soap. Wonder if she would do an audio podcast. They dragged Olivia's pregnancy too long on the Sunset Beach. Yeah. Yeah, they did. That was messed up too. When Olivia couldn't remember that that she had gave birth to the baby and they passed it off as her daughter. And Cole, oh, yup, that was scandalous. Yup. Mm-hmm. Leslie should come back to Bold and Beautiful with Jack to see Brooke. Yeah. I would love to see my girl Jackie back on Bold and Beautiful. I really would. Never knew Eddie. Oh yeah. Yep. Eddie is a soap alum, Young and the Restless on up. He's one of those who will actually talk about him being on a soap opera. Shade. Now I'm gonna, when I get off here, I'm gonna watch Sunset Beach, like the first episode. Is Eddie George from? No, I know who you're talking about. What's his name? Oh God, I know what you're talking about. Like, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Jason George. Yes, Jason George. Yes. Yep, Jason George from Station 19. He was on Sunset Beach too. Like, in all honesty, Sunset Beach could actually come back. Like, not the way it ended, but like a reboot of Sunset Beach on the CW. I was going to say HBO Max, but it's called Max. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to start saying at the Max. And say about fans, you got that reference. Thank you. Let me see. I remember Jason George when he was on Eve when UPN was still there. Yeah, Jacarius, I missed the UPN and the WB too. Back in the day when life was good. My prayers are with the CW tonight. Woo! Is that okay? Let me ask a dumb question to those who still watches. Other than the DC stuff, right? What other shows are on the CW? Riverdale's not on, right? Riverdale, that show got canceled, right? Riverdale's not on anymore, right? I'm so out of the CW loop that I know, like I said, I'm going to be watching The Flash. I'm going to watch the finale of that. But, oh, that's right. All American is on there. I watched it on streaming. Okay. So real quick, because I know about All American and I know about The Flash. But, okay, so Kung Fu and Walker made it. They're still on. They're not canceled, right? Okay. I just want, because, okay. Here's the thing. Not embarrassed of saying it, but the CW to me is not as it used to be when, like, it was, I like in the last couple of years, I feel as though I've been, like, out of the CW. Like, I know, like I said, Supergirl, I know that went off. The Flash, I know that's still on. Like, I know they're getting ready to do all that. I knew Superman and Lois has been struggling a little bit. I know about All Americans, but I just didn't know the other shows that's on there because they don't promote it as much, as heavy as they used to. So I didn't know what show was still on. But yeah, as far as you know, they have not been renewed yet. Oh, okay. Thank you, Simone, for telling me. I'm be on top of this. I need to do that. It's crazy how they see that. All I know is when they took away the WB. Story time, kids. When they took the WB, I still remember it still lives rent-free, the final promo that they ran, like when they were signing off, when they had all the people that was on the WB, right? There was a few people that was missing from that list. I'm not going to say no names. One of them became a star. They were like currently in the #1 movie with Super Mario Brothers. Just saying. But it still lives in the fact that the WB seriously did raise a generation. Like, in all honesty, the WB did raise a generation because, Dawson's Creek is about to hit we're 28, 25 years, 26 years. Felicity. I'm even going to go back to how I remember the WB. Okay. I remember Parenthood. I remember Unhappily Ever After. I'm sorry. Jack and Jill. Let's see. Zoe Duncan and all of them. I still remember that. I remember Savannah. By the way, Savannah needs to come back too. Let me write that down. Savannah needs to come back because I'm still pressed with that. Then you had Charm. Then, yeah, even though this person went a little bit too cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I still enjoyed the show before he became too cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And that was Kirk Cameron show. Sister. Let me see. I'm like playing all these songs in my head. Raising Dad, Jamie Foxx. Like, they had a good block. I mean, we cannot forget the Steve Harvey show. We can't forget the original. Yeah, I was gonna say Roswell. I mean, we also got it. Reba. I mean, here's the thing. I know some people didn't like the move, but I liked it that Sabrina went over to the WB. Let me see what I like about you. Let's see, especially when they did the 90210 thing. That was pretty funny. Let me see. I mean, I gotta even give a shout out to the WB kids. Batman, come on now. Come on, give it up for that because that was some good stuff. Okay. Let me see what else. I mean, Smallville. Hello. Popular. I know some of y'all, as soon as I said Popular, all y'all start jamming, okay? Even the Young Americans, Pinky and the Brain. Let's see what else shows. Good grief. I mean, Gilmore Girls. Hello. I mean, there was a lot of good shows on the WB. That's why I said, like, that promo, it literally says it literally raised a generation. And Popular should have had more Grosse Pointe. Y'all remember Grosse Pointe when they made fun of the Aaron Spelling shows? And they had sex bomb, you're my sex bomb. Okay, I can't sing it. There, yeah, Jackie Chan. I mean, Saturday mornings on the WB was pretty cool. They had NSYNC on there too. Let's see what else. And then flip side, UPN. I'm old enough to remember Homeboys in Outer Space. Okay, I remember when Buffy was on. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Is that because keep in mind, you had the ABCs, the NBCs, the CBS, the Fox, PBS, and then you had these two, you had UPN, and then you had the WB. And then it was like, UPN did have all the black comedies like Jacarius and Sam, Moesha the Parker's Girlfriends, and everything. I mean, For Your Love on the WB. Oh my God. Yes. For Your Love. For Your Love should be on there. Bye, Jeremy. Thank you for hanging out with me. Half and Half. Yup, in the house. I mean, there was a lot of shows that was on, and oh my gosh. It was a time, man. It was really a time to be alive. Like, seriously. And the crazy part is today is Fox's. This is sad that I know this. Fox just celebrated an anniversary of their primetime lineup. Like, I think today is the anniversary of 21 Jump Street on primetime Fox. I'm old enough to remember when Fox started. And I remember Tracy Ullman was one of the first primetime shows, which means that it's been 36, 38 years since we was introduced to The Simpsons. Now you want to talk about a show that really raised the generation. Actually, it's now going on 4 generations, if I'm thinking about this correctly. It's The Simpsons. The Simpsons literally have raised half of us 80s kids, 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, late 2000s into this. They have beaten the Flintstones, because the Flintstones had the longest, like, as far as animated series, but the Simpsons wanted me to tell the Flintstones, yabba dabba doo, bye. I remember how bad some of the animation was for the Simpsons before it became the Simpsons. Like, Lakina, you feel old. And the crazy thing is, we was talking about this. Obviously, you guys know this. I have no shame in my age. I'm 41. I'm older than Bold and Beautiful, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, it's just crazy. I mean, whew. Oh, Firefly, the Bernie Mac show, Ally McBeal. Down this road, walking the life straight out of. Okay, I can't sing that. Okay, sorry. Some of these shows have really good theme songs, by the way. Yeah, Malcolm in the Middle, me and that show didn't get along. Fox had Mad TV, though, and I ain't gonna lie. Mad TV easily won me over on Saturday nights. Like, no offense to Saturday Night Live, but Mad TV was that show. Let me see. In Living Color. Oh, Verona Shepard. Yes, she could sing. I bought that soundtrack real quick. Did Fox have Party of Five? Sadly, they did. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Joy, I'm gonna tell y'all a story about me and Party of Five. I could not stand that show after Charlie's quote unquote getting diagnosed with cancer on a special. Wait a minute. Let me do the justice. On a special episode of Party of Five, Charlie has cancer. Party of Five, Tuesday nights on Fox. The next week, Charlie's cancer has been in remission. I'm like, heck to the no. And I'm going to tell you why I was mad. When that storyline came up, this is actually a personal fact here. My great-grandmother was dealing with breast cancer. So in my emotional state, I was mad because they played the certain beats when Charlie had cancer, right? And then the next week, it was like, hallelujah, hallelujah, he's cured. It was like, wait a minute, we ain't doing that. Nope. I got so irritated because I felt as though Party of Five took a nosedive. Like, they kept playing, they kept jumping the shark. And that's the term when a show is like kind of running out of ideas and everything, so they do whatever they want to do. But I will say, Jennifer Love Hewitt's spinoff, Time of Your Life, that should have got another season. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, Party of Five got on my freaking nerves. But it had a good theme song. Let me see. Mad TV was always better than. Here's what I'm going to say. Mad TV was good because Saturday Night Live had questionable moments and questionable skits. But Mad TV is like, look what I can do with Stuart, which is now I understand why some of the kids are Stuart in my class. And Mrs. Swan. Yeah, looking like a mom. By the way, you know Miss Swan couldn't be played in today's society, right? Okay. The guy who played Charlie he looks like Matthew Fox. Oh, okay. You ain't never lied, Lakina. Party of Five always seems to be in a very special episode mode. I watched Melrose Place, which I had to watch with my mother in order to look at it. Look, okay. Simone, I'm going to tell you something. So, I consider myself as quote unquote, I shouldn't have been watching certain shows at a certain age, but I watched it anyway. So, as a 9-year-old and watching Melrose Mondays, because remember, it was Melrose Mondays, right? Y'all remember this. And Wednesdays 90210. But I'm going to tell you something. They understood the assignment. I was all shook with Melrose Place as a young kid. And again, I'll tell the story when Brenda, Kelly, and Dylan had their whole thing on 90210. I had the 90210 dolls. I think we all did. I was so upset that and this says a lot about me in relationships, I guess. But I took the Dylan doll, I dipped it into hot water, and I put it in the microwave. Took the doll out and burned the side of his face. I was so mad. Again, I was angst. I had relationship angst as a young child. I didn't understand. And to this day, I'm still bitter. Like, Kelly, you're no friend. Like, you're seriously no friend. And Dylan, you was wrong too. Like, and then y'all gonna have a child together? Oh no, nope. Team Brenda all the way. I'm still salty about it. Oh man. But that was the thing. That was the thing. When you were a kid, you didn't know certain things, but as you gotten older, you really understand. I'm still the same though. I was 10 and my mom said I could watch both. She said she had to watch with me if I had questions. She figured I had been watching soap since I was Team Kelly all day. God bless. Simone, God bless. Kelly was like Brooke to me. Oh no. See, we ain't doing this. All right. Here's the thing about Kelly. Kelly was that fake friend. Like, she had her moments where she was really like, she was there for you and everything, but don't take your eyes off of her because she would have done some stuff. Donna was that girl that she just needed a hug sometimes. Let me get back into my mode. Okay, that's why I'm bitter about Brenda left the whole quad. I mean, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel as though that there should have been, and I wish they would have got Shannon Doherty back for this, like towards the season finale, to have that resolved. I feel as though there's something missing with that. Now, I will say this, when they did BH 90210, which was the behind the scenes of 90210 on Fox, which, by the way, I wish they would have done another season of. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I did because I got to see the OGs. Yeah, we didn't have Luke Perry, but we had Shannon. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still had our crew. But yeah, I mean, we had the CW, you know, the 90210 continuation because it wasn't a spinoff. And I feel as though when they had Brenda talking to Kelly, and that's how we knew that Dylan was the baby's father. Spoiler alert, they kind of solved it, but they didn't resolve it. You know what I'm saying? And I wish that got another season too. So I love Kelly. She seemed like a real life Barbie doll to me at the time. That's what Simone said. Kelly, I mean, like I said, Kelly had some good clothes, but she had her moments. She really did have her moments where I was just like, ooh, girl. Like Steve, you went with Steve, then Brandon, and then you had Dylan. Like, okay. Isn't that when Shannon Doherty? Yeah, she went to Charm, but the thing is that because I think what was said was they could have, because it was both Aaron Spelling shows, that the idea was to get Shannon to come over to 90210 for those final like 3 episodes to round it all out, because you didn't have Jason Priestley there and everything. Oh, you mean yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying she had all 3. She had all 3 guys. She couldn't have David because that was her stepbrother. But if he wasn't the stepbrother, but wrote it that David and her hooked up. You leave my Iron Singer alone, gladly. You mean Cameron from Gunlight? funny story though. Iron Zarian is not 60, is he? Or 50, right? He's nowhere. He's not 50 or 60. Mm-mm. He's like 47, right? I was watching him the other day. When I was watching, you guys, I was up at like 2:00 in the morning. I'm watching the primetime episode of Gone Light, the primetime special, and Iron Zarian was on there. He's like, if the show clocks in at 100, I would like to come back as an old man. And I'm like, darn it, Gone Light, you had one job to do, CBS. Darn 90210. But how many of y'all really like when the music came on, you actually posed? Like y'all was part of the crew, like din it, like din it, like oh, he took okay, so he just turned 59. Dang, really? Coming soon to Fox 90210 Senior Citizen Home. That should be the show right there. I'm going to hell for that. I've been doing a rewatch of both Paramount Plus and that first season. Because Melrose Place, okay, the first season of Melrose Place was trying to find their structure, right? I think we all can agree with this. Everybody was so happy. Everybody was like, because remember the original intro, right? Where they're all walking down. It's like they're all like everything's fine. They were finding their footing. They really was, because even though it was a spinoff of 90210, you had Jake, because remember Jake and Kelly was dating. Told you she had everybody. She had Jake, she had Dylan, she had Brandon, she had Steve. Oh God. Anyway, Brandon gave you an excuse not to dance. Oh God, it seemed cool. Oh God, I just remember the dance too. But no, Melrose Place was like, oh, you mean this? That one when she's in the intro. Yeah, everybody was so nice to each other that it made me sick. And I think because they knew that it was supposed to be 90210, like it was supposed to be the flip side of 90210, right? But Melrose Place, they finally found their groove when they had on my Campbell, when she blew up. Heather anytime you need a good pick me up, get Heather Locklear. Where is she anyway? Is she getting better? She's doing okay. She all right? Cool. But also got to remember In the Heights. Yep, In the Heights was a spinoff. And of course, Models Inc. Models Inc. should have got at least 2 seasons extra, by the way. Just saying. Yeah, anytime you need some spice and some sass and sexy, you go to Heather Locklear. She will give it to you. When she came on Melrose Place was never the same again. Melrose Place was never the same again after Heather Locklear came on. Like that was Endgame right there. It was like Sammy Joe, Heather Locklear. She's gonna be on Melrose Place. It makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, Models Inc. was really good. I'm just thinking about Melrose Place when they came on the CW. Like, okay, let me ask a question. Did any of you guys have a problem with 90210 and Melrose Place on the CW? Because I didn't. I thought it was really good. I wish they would have made Ashley Simpson Kim's daughter, though. Or, yeah. Because they red hair and she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Colin Eggersfield, who he played his part. He's fine, by the way. So, let's see. Yeah, I needed another season of Models Inc. Oh. And Lakina, I remember that they were older, but dang, it's like hindsight. It's like, they're old. Again, coming soon. Melrose Place senior citizens 90210. I wanted Katie. Okay, so here's the thing. I did not. Okay, like down the line, I wanted them to be connected, but I didn't want to be mother and daughter. I don't know. Let's see. I had no problem. I was watching both. They were better than both. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this real quick. The Gossip Girl reboot that was on HBO Max, right? Okay. My cousin never saw the original. So when she told me about the reboot, I was intrigued. I was going to watch it, and I did. And I thought it was smart that if you didn't have HBO Max, you could see it on the CW. I thought that was brilliant. It was too many characters introduced in the first episode. It literally was like 8 characters or 10 characters. And I'm trying to keep up with all of them because there was like this one and this one and this one and this one, this one. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to cut out now. Just like with Charmed, the new Charmed. Too soon, and it was not for me. I was out. And I saw a lot of people saying it was good and everything, but it was just missing something. And I was just like, whoo. I was like, oh, Lord. I said, good luck. God bless. That show got canceled, right? Because I didn't think, I mean, if it did stay, congrats, but I never knew. We don't talk about the new Charmed. Why not? It was so much fun. I never knew Vanessa Williams was on the first season of Melrose Place. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, it got canceled. Just me. Sorry. I'm so bitter about that. Probably because they cut. You know what? I'm still bitter. You know what show I'm still bitter about? They got canceled after 4 seasons. Everwood. I'm still bitter that the WB canceled Everwood. That show, Everwood, was so good. Yeah, here's the thing. The Roswell reboot was actually okay. I didn't mind that. The charm, okay, I'm going to tell you what I had a problem with. One, it was too soon after the OGs. Another thing, too, is instead of making a continuation with the boys or kind of going back in time, you told the same story. You added some twists, but the problem was what was going on off screen, because when the actors, the actors and actresses on the new Charm and the OGs went at it on Twitter, that's where you lost a lot of people, because you don't. Here's what I'm going to say. Both shows are different. That is true. But at the same time, please understand that certain people are going to have opinions about the new show and how the show's structure is versus what fans were used to. And I think that was the problem. When the final episode, when they showed the original house from the original Charmed, everybody was like, wow. Were they trying to put out a message with that? All I know is this. I saw both of them. I'm keen to the OG. I see what they were trying to do with the new one, because again, every generation has to have something from us, right? Just like with Dynasty. See people partying outside. I saw the new Dynasty. I wasn't particular about it. It was okay. It was what it was. I was more into Dawson's Creek at the time. Everybody was in Dawson's Creek. I'm still mad they still killed off the wrong character, by the way. I don't want to wait. And in case y'all didn't notice, I was more of a Dawson and Jen fan than a Dawson and Joey and Pacey. I liked the Dawson and Jen. Jen was my favorite character. I will go swinging on the mountain with that one too. That was my girl. Jen was no joke. She paid for a lot of things, but man, she made sense. When they killed, spoiler alert, when they killed her off, I was mad. Ask my friend Courtney. She'll tell you. I was hooping and hollering. I was screaming. I was like, no, they did not. Because when they said the promo, they said, and at the end, one of these characters are not going to make it. I thought Pacey wasn't going to make it. I'll be honest with you. Now, Dynasty should have. They should have. I'm going to be honest with you. They should have, and everybody could have still played their parts, but it could have been a whole new generation. I will say this. For me, the best continuation was Dallas on TNT. I'm sorry. I love Jen, but Joey going up to face. Simone, that was the most iconic. Like James Van Der Beek, he if you ever hear James Van Der Beek talks about that meme, he talks about it all the time, and he tried to recreate it, and it was funny as I don't know what. Like if you're not following him on Twitter and on Insta and on TikTok, mostly TikTok, he is too funny. He even talked about he was just cracking up talking about that. He was like, that is his legacy, is the crying. I'm like, well, that and Varsity Blues. You know, that was a good movie. But no, the best continuation for me was Dallas. Because they had the sons, you know, they had the boys all grown up and having their own legacy. I think what messed up that show was the death of Larry Hagman. Because there's no Dallas without JR. I'm going to be completely honest, and this is one of those things where sadly the death of one of your iconic stars it makes the show suffer a little bit. It's no offense to you know, because you still had Linda Gray, you had Patrick Duffy, but it's still, you know, you need a JR, man. And then you had the show overtaken by people that we didn't know. Like, it was like, who's this guy? Who this guy? Who's that? Like, who that? Who that be? Like, I always wondered though if JR had a secret kid out there though. Like a daughter. Like a real, like, yes, he had the son, you know, he had the, you know, John Ross. He had John Ross. But I could also see where he had another child out there and comes back and is a boss and everything else like that. Like, I totally would have been for that. Oh my gosh. And see, yeah. I mean, okay. I feel as though that, okay, when you have the OGs from the OGs show on and being sort of the major players on the continuation, right? That gives you the old school feel to know that JR's son is, you know, going to kind of take over the empire. You got Sue Ellen, who is still being Sue Ellen, right? But I see what you're saying, because to me, when they had Gary and Val from Knots Landing come over, when Sue Ellen, when she was messy and she was drinking and she was running for governor and everything. See, Lakena's trying to get me in trouble, y'all. Mm-hmm. I see what you did there, Lakena. Well played. But yeah, I mean, but then it became overbearing with all the other, you know, characters, and it kind of like lost track a little bit. There were some things about Dynasty I love. Falcon was soapy goodness. Oh yeah. You ain't never lied. Simone, we can talk about that. This is why I would, okay, to me, I think the problem is that they, like, to me, they made Alexis and Crystal too much of a character. Like, it was just weird all wet round, and I was just like, y'all really don't know what to do with this, do you? Now, I'm going to say this. Grant Show as the father figure, I mean, I still think it was funny with the CW how they did that with Grant Show, who was the heartthrob of Melrose Place, and Luke Perry, the heartthrob of 90210, now becoming dads to grown kids. I was like, really? Again, a generation, right? Okay. I mean, it wouldn't have been far-fetched as much as JR slept around. Right? Because he could have had with what's that girl's name? What's called his sister? Oh man, what was that girl's name? April's sister. Because remember, JR was married to her. And yep, that could have been a daughter. Yep. It could have been a bump. Yep. Yeah. Yep. See, Lakina's trying to get me in trouble talking about Dallas, y'all. Well played. Well played. Well played. Darn Lakina. But hey, you guys, I've been on for almost 2 hours. Yay. I understand backstage things happen. They need to switch actresses, but they never established these two women should have. They really did. That was the ongoing joke. Okay, real quick before I wrap up. That was the ongoing joke on social media. It was like Russian roulette. It was like, okay, so now y'all got homegirl looking like Fallon and all this stuff. Like, y'all really could not find the footing for these. Like, that is your main thing is, you know, having Crystal and Alexis and Fallon. Like, that was your main priority. How did y'all drop the ball on it? I don't know. I will never know. But what I will say is I do say that they did have a good, solid fan base and they had good viewership. I do know that much, but because somebody asked what show should they do next as quote unquote a continuation or reboot. And as much as I want to say Knots Landing, I'm sorry. I don't trust. I'm going to say this. It depends on who gets it. Who gets Knots Landing? And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Now, if they would like to bring back Everwood, even though you ain't going to get half the cast back, I mean, you can probably get some back because, like I said, Chris Pratt is kind of busy. What's-called is on Grey's Anatomy. Well, no, she's not on there. Well, no, she's not, but you know, she's April on there. And there's some other people, but I don't know. They could probably bring back Everwood. I don't know. Falcon Crest would be really hard. I'm gonna be honest with you, because they would have to really the cast would have to be perfect for Falcon Crest. When I say perfect, I want this to be a continuation. So I want Angela's like grandkids running this muck, right? I would choose Falcon Crest over Knots Landing. But again, it depends on who does it. Because see, this is where you can't mess up on. You can't mess up on. Heck, I would love for them to bring back Hotel. And even though people say, Candace, that wasn't a part of the deal. No, Hotel gets recognition. Thank you. And from Lingo Road should also get some attention too. Thank you. I'm about to put some blast on these names. But no, real quick, you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I feel like I was doing a radio thing because I got the microphone. Yes, I have a microphone now. But I will probably be back on later this week. And once again, congratulations. I'm seeing that there's some winners for the Indie Series Awards. So congratulations to you guys already. And I will talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.